You're watching an RH Reality Check production brought to you by rhrealitycheck.org.
Hi, this is Lupe Rodriguez, and we are facing a very, very important election this November. Whomever you vote for, please pay close attention to their positions on reproductive health issues. Follow the example of some of these young people who recently gathered in Washington, D.C. from all around the country trying to get involved.
I think teen pregnancy for me is the biggest issue, the one that I spend most time thinking about. I recently had a summer internship where I was a peer mentor in the city itself. So working with students who were 14 to 21, and the first day that I got there, I was really excited and ready to sort of help them out in their situation. I come to find out that we're meeting 16-year-olds who had one child, one 2-year-old already, were pregnant again, and that I thought that would be, okay, maybe there's just one girl here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 women with children who were younger than I am. So it was shocking to me to think, how can you be 16, 17, 18, 19 and fully raise a child when you're still trying to grow up yourself? That's a rough time for a young woman.
I live in the Bible Belt, so there are eventually really religious factions that support abstinence-only education. But I think if more of the populace was informed that abstinence-only education is actually increasing pregnancy rates, and that comprehensive sex education actually delays sexual initiation more so than abstinence does, and when students start sexual initiation, they're better protected. I really feel like some of the, I mean, not everyone obviously, but I think a lot of people would be more willing to consider comprehensive sex education. I just think that people have a really skewed vision of what it is and what it means, and it's not just throwing condoms at your kids. It's a very inclusive program that encourages abstinence, but realizes the reality that not everyone will be.
Another one of my favorite issues to debate is the access of emergency contraception, EC as it's commonly known. A lot of times, of course now it's where you don't have to have a prescription if you're 18 or older, but then again there are regulations that stipulate that if the pharmacist is, for some kind of religious conviction, not feeling good about giving you EC, then he or she does not have to.
I see a lot of people who are my age who end up pregnant and, who continue to raise their child, and then they end up, dropping out of school or something like that. And that can really hurt a children's life. And luckily in New Jersey, you can have an abortion without your mom or whoever's consent, which a lot of people may consider, a horrible idea. It's horrible, but in reality, it can really help the children who, are really smart, who are incredibly smart, and just who cannot raise a child on their own at such a young age.
I have definitely had friends who have had the experience of having to go get EC and could not get it because they were too young. When I was 17, I had a friend who needed some emergency contraception, and I tried to help her get it, but I couldn't personally go get it because I was 17 and so was she.
Get involved. Hold your politicians accountable and take charge of your reproductive health and rights.